I think that's a lesson that we learned after President Trump. And look, we disagree on this, but President Trump won the 2020 election, and we were kind of shattered as a movement when he left Washington, D.C., and we had to go back to basics to say, it can't be somebody else do something. We had to do something. And that's where we went back to really a pure populist movement to go at the grassroots, the precinct strategy, and kind of rebuild ourselves from there.
Well, and I appreciate the notion of agency, that we're not bystanders in the world. It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate and future.
Here's Gavin Newsom hosting Nazi sympathizer Steve Bannon and hearing the 2020 election denying BS with zero pushback.
Last night, trying to put my son to bed, he's like, "No, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're in school tomorrow." He's 13. He's like, No. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, "I'm coming." I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
When you go to these college campuses, I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. And clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, I actually.
He's coming to a Turning Point event this summer, Tampa, Florida, Student Action Summit.
I actually am. By the way, if
you should be concerned.
But actually, let me say here is why I'm concerned, because you have expressed that I should be concerned as a Democrat, that we're getting clobbered.
Okay. Yes.
That you've figured something out.
It's not me. The president first deserves the credit.
But why? No, hold on. You were at this before Trump was Trump.
I know, but
he was a Democrat back in 2011 and 12.
The president deserves huge credit. And I just have to say that as an obligatory thing, because without him, our movement would be small. And you can appreciate that in politics. You have to appreciate the person who is the catalyst.
For you, that's what you sort of attached an identity.
It was also
with
just the catalyst. It was a cultural moment that just opened us up.
And here he is yucking it up with an extremist in politics, Charlie Kirk.
Because to say he's not reading the room is the understatement of the century.
Kyle Kulinski gave his take on the matter.
We just learned who's going to be in the second episode. You ready? It's Michael Savage. Now, for those of you who don't know who Michael Savage is, let me put it like this. Gavin Newsom's first 3 guests are the 3 worst people in the country. I saw when Gavin Newsom debated DeSantis, he's good at debating when he wants to be good at it. And he destroyed DeSantis. He hammered him into the ground in that Fox News debate. I remember watching that going, look, whatever problems these two have, this is way preferable to a Biden versus Trump situation, right? So again, more than fair to him. He signed a bill in California where they make their own insulin, which means it's way cheaper insulin for people. That's a life-saving thing, man. I'm going to give him credit on that all day long. He stopped maternity wards in California from closing. Credit. He gave doxing victims the ability to sue. Credit on that. He made it so that medical debt it can't count against you for your credit report. Again, that's great. He did sectoral bargaining for all fast food workers in California, and they have a $20 wage floor. That's amazing.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Also, look, we could talk about the negative things. He vetoed a bill to give California universal health care. That's basically unforgivable. He vetoed a bill to get private equity out of health care. Again, unforgivable. He vetoed a bill that cracked down on the PBMs, the pharmacy benefit managers, who are just middlemen who jack up the price of your drugs. That's horrible. He's had some votes on crime stuff and on homelessness that I think are bad. And he thinks the path to political power is to snuggle up to the right, snuggle up to MAGA, have these conversations where they chuckle and giggle and make nice. You believe in nothing, right? And that's my problem with Gavin Newsom. He believes in nothing.
And I can't believe I'm saying this.
I woke up this morning fully expecting the outrage of the day to be something that like Trump did, or the fact that Jared Golden, a Democrat, voted for the continuing resolution last night, which is also insane. And then I see this. I see that Gavin Newsom has decided to invite Steve Bannon on his podcast, and they're going to have just a wonderful conversation. Last week, he had Charlie Kirk on his podcast. That I didn't get extremely outraged about, even though Kirk is one of the bad guys. Bannon is the author of this chaos we're seeing right now. Bannon is the one that says you need to flood the zone with. Bannon is the one that has basically authored where we are and what Donald Trump wants. And because Gavin Newsom wants to run for president and thinks he's going to be this healer, he brings on this nationalist. Many of us on the right sacrificed our careers taking these people on, and Newsom's trying to make a career with them. This is insane.
Adam Kinzinger, a man who supported the MAGA agenda in the form of his voting record, preached more truths than Newsom. This from Dave Zirin at The Nation. The governor of California, he would echo Kyle's sentiments, stands for nothing besides his own political career. That is true. He hosted Kirk on his pod and agreed with Charlie Kirk that trans people don't belong in the world of sports. He called it deeply unfair. He would reveal that his actual motivations were nakedly opportunist. He would bash the Dems for getting, as he says, crushed for supporting trans athletes. And basically, it would snowball into him taking the stance of being pro-trans in everything but sports. But that serves as a pipeline to the anti-trans movement, the forcible erasure of trans people from society, or eradication, as Michael Knowles will say at CPAC. And it also lines up behind Trump as the savior of girls from the trans hordes. He would continue. Newsom seems to be leading the way for other Dems to sacrifice trans people and their athletics for their electoral ambitions instead of making an affirmative case for their presence. This is the UN asserts human rights issues. The trans issue is a human rights issue that transcends sports. He spoke with a ton of great voices as well, including Chase Strangio of the ACLU, who said, "It is hard to stomach the Trump administration's continued attacks on trans athletes in the name of protecting women and girls," which, of course, as we have seen over and over again, from him being linked to Jeffrey Epstein, to other people who were working those beauty pageants, him going in and even bragging to Howard Stern about this. I mean, the list goes on and on. What the many attacks have in common is that they do absolutely nothing to invest in women's sports, this is true, while making all women and girls more vulnerable to surveillance, privacy invasions, and inequitable playing conditions. At the end of the day, President Trump cannot undermine the will of the people as expressed through Congress. Title IX, the 1972 legislation protecting people against sex and gender discrimination, still stands, and it prohibits sex discrimination in education and sports. Congress failed to advance a bill that would accomplish Trump's preferred policy outcome of banning trans women and girls from sports. The president cannot override the other branches of government, and we should not de facto grant him that power by complying in advance with his lawless executive orders. That is from Chase Strangio speaking to Dave Zirin. Strangio with the ACLU, Zirin with The Nation. I view this in two different ways. The first is Gavin Newsom will sell out anybody and anything in order for him to attain even more power. He is going to run in 2028. He is not this progressive voice that the media will make him out to be, because our media is, if not right-wing, centrist. So when they prop up Gavin Newsom as this crazy, progressive leftist guy, he's not. He's not, and he will never be. He is beholden to his donors, and he has a few good points, as Kyle outlined here and there, but he is not met for the moment. The other part about this is not only is he willing to sell out anybody and anything, but he's willing to sell out your own mind in order for you to have, in order for him to have on people that clearly are pro-fascism, clearly serve out the MAGA agenda, and he wants to find this not even middle ground. He wants to basically bend over backwards for these people who are not willing, they're willing, who should not be in that position and have that opportunity. I view this as a political strategy in order for him to try and reach right-wing people when he is not. We have seen this playbook already. We have seen what the people want. It is a populist agenda, and Gavin Newsom will do no such thing. He will do no such thing. He has been told, in my opinion, from the DNC, support Biden, which he did through and through on the campaign trail, and you will have your shot in 2028. And they are going to anoint him. the presidency in 2028. And we are going to be circling the drains once again of fascism if we even get there, because MAGA Republicans are trying to have a change to our Constitution that allows Trump to run for a third term. So I am telling you, this is bleak. This is bleak. We need systemic change. We need leftist policies that serve the people. We do not need another politician who is a pro-corporatist hack like Gavin Newsom. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.